Right, we're back again with more Undaunted Normandy solo mode. Today we're looking at Critical Intelligence Scenario 10. This one is battle for Mortain, very significant battle, and we're looking at essentially a capturing secret intelligence mission. So we have a radio post here that the US needs to go into, and unlike normal scenarios where you would just go straight in and start capturing away, this one you need to actually hold the objective and you can increase its value. So for the Americans, coming onto this point here is extremely useful, but it does then mean they're the higher the Americans make this objective, so if we go up to 1, 2, 3, 4 points, the Germans can capture that and take those points back. So it's a bit of a risk-reward style situation. So I've won this one already as the Americans. It was quite easy. So I'm actually going to boost the difficulty. We're going to go up to hard mode, and what that means is that the German bot will get play 4 cards rather than 3 in a turn, and 5 if they win the initiative. So they'll be quicker off the mark, so I'm going to have to work pretty quickly to get in here. So we're ready to go, so we're just going to shuffle up and draw our cards. So turn 1, we've got a scout, platoon sergeant, fog of war, and another fog of war. Cool. So scouts, 2 fogs, and platoon sergeant. So what we're going to want to do here is, I think we might just have to sacrifice the initiative. Now the Germans start with the initiative this turn, and I don't think they're a massive threat already, and we want to get rid of the fog of war because we start this game with 4 as the Americans, so that and the Germans start with less, so they've got the kind of jump on us in a way. So I'm going to get rid of the fog of war. So in fact, I'm going to play that as my initiative card, and then we'll draw the German initiative card. So we've got a scout, so they've won. So scout, this goes into the discard for them. German turn 1, so this turn they're going to get 4 different cards coming out, including the scout. Oh god, this is actually a lot. So scout, rifleman, rifleman B, platoon sergeant, and fog of war. Okay, right, we'll just do this in order then. So we'll just have to do it sideways, just along here, just to make it fit. So we'll put the platoon sergeant first, and then you can see it's all done in initiative order. Wow, it's a lot of cards running. That's kind of scary. Okay, so we've got platoon sergeant is going to go first, and we'll have to roll for his value. So just quickly check the cards for platoon sergeant. Okay, cool. So we're on scenario 10 for the Germans, and roll a dice. So roll a 0, which means command. So that is even more cards coming out. So we've got another scout. Forgot to mention with this scenario, there is a little wrinkle to it, which is that the Germans don't start with their squad leaders. I imagine they're kind of, they don't expect this sort of raid coming in, so they have to actually bolster the squad leaders in, which gives us the Americans a small advantage. Right, that's a lot of cards in play. So we've had the platoon commander's done his thing. Scout is going to get rid of a fog of war, and then we're going to do the same with the other scout. So get rid of that one from the game. We draw up a new card. So when you do a reconnaissance, reconning out here, you actually put a face down card for the bot. Oh, wow, I don't think I've ever been in this situation. We actually can't draw anything. I think we're out of cards to draw. So I don't actually know what you do in this situation here. Let's just see what happens. So I don't think that really is anything. I think what we'll do, I'm not entirely sure how this plays because we've got so many cards in the deck. I would assume nothing, because they can't actually draw. But I think what we can do is put the Fog of War out. So the Fog of War is removed, second one. So they've got rid of 2. But that does mean that they don't get to draw another card. I think I've chucked one of their cards away, haven't I? Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, it should be face down. Already getting myself a little bit confused, as is the way with solo games, but that's fine. So just to recap, Platoon Sergeant, 2 Scouts, they've reconned out Fog of War, and then the Rifleman A and Rifleman B are going to act. So I've played this one already, so Rifleman A is going to shift here because that's an area without control. And then Rifleman B would do exactly the same. If the other areas have been scouted, they might have acted differently, but they haven't. Okay, so that's the German turn. You can see I leave this one here, the recondom marker, over here. So they're discarded. And then we're playing as the Americans now. So I've got my Platoon Sergeant and Scout and Fog of War. So we're going to use the Scout and Fog first, so we'll get rid of the Fog of War. Fog of War is out of the game, and we draw a new card. So we've got another Fog of War, but that's not going to be much use to us. And then we've got Platoon Sergeant. Now the question is, do we want to bring in some reinforcements, perhaps a mortar, to try and suppress... I don't think I actually can bring in a mortar. I can only bring in a machine gun in this mission. So I'm going to bring in a machine gun to try and get a drop on my opponent. And then I'm also going to bring in another scout. So I'm going to bring in Scout A. So we boosted up Scout A nicely. In fact, you know what, we'll go for Scout B. I think we need to distribute a bit between our different squads. So we've got that one, and we've got a whole load of these in the discard now. So these go into the discard, bolstered up, and then the Scouts B in the Fog of War will go in the discard as well. These tiles do like to slide on this table. I could do with getting a mat. Right, so I am then going to look at next turn. So Germans need to reshuffle. Germans need to reshuffle, and we'll pull the American cards first. And what are we going to pick? Okay, so we've got Squad Leader B, Squad Leader A, and a Scout. Now I think we definitely want to get the Scout moving, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Squad Leader B to go in as the initiative. So that's a 7. What's the German going to pull? Scout 6. Okay, so we've beaten the German initiative score. So it flips to us. So my first. So I've got the initiative, so I get to go first. Okay, let's do this quickly then. So Rifleman A is going to shift here to the reconnaissance point where the radio signal is. I'm then going to inspire the Rifleman. In fact, do I want to do that? I'm actually going to try and get further ahead. So we're actually going to use the Scout to move 2 spaces, and the Scout is going to recon this territory. Now what we're trying to do is stop the bot getting the church, because if they get that, then it's going to be much more difficult. They can't win if they just have 4 objectives, they need 5. So if I hold this one and block them, I've got a better chance of pushing the radiator out. Well, that's the plan anyway. So I get a fog of war for scouting another area. So Scout and Rifleman have both done their thing, and then I'm going to actually use the squad leader A to inspire the Rifleman to shift 1 space. Is this insane? I don't think it is. I think we're probably okay for now. So that Rifleman is going to need to get reinforcements sharpish, otherwise he might get knocked off the board. So it's a bit of a risk. Okay, so we're now moving on to the platoon sergeant. So as you can see, we're going to have 4 cards this time for the Germans. So platoon sergeant, Rifleman, another Rifleman, and Scout. And then we've also got to flip this one. There we go. So platoon sergeant, we're going to roll for his action this turn. 2. So that one is a draw. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a specialist up first. I'm just going to shuffle the bolster deck. Specialist coming in, so specialist is a mortar. It's got a second mortar on the table. We've got we've got to roll now to see what the rest of the actions are. I'm just going to double check in the book. As I said last time, this is one of the most annoying things. You have to reference this book to get the reinforcement rolls. So 9 or 10 it's specialist. So roll a 6. So that's going to be bolster B. So bolster B, Rifleman B. Then we roll again. A 1. Got a Scout. Okay, so they haven't managed to get their squad leaders in, so I think that's a small advantage still. Okay, so we're on Scout B now. What's Scout B going to do? So Scout B will try and go for the most valuable objective. That is the usual play with the Scout, unless there's recon in play. So I'm looking at this here. Scout 10, no fog of war, tile is secure, yes. No threatened objectives, unscouted, so we pick the highest value, and then we'll need to choose a direction. So now, because each direction has got equal value, it will be 1 to 5 on the left, 6 to 10 for the right. So 3, the Scout is going to go 1, 2, yeah, we'll definitely pick that one because it's got enemies in it. And then we're going to pop 1 down. They'll always go through a reconned position first. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't have rolled for that because they would always go through the recon position. In fact, would they? Let me just check. I don't think they would. Unscouted, yeah. So actually, the German is going to go through the unscouted position on their route to pick that up. So the Germans get 2 fog of war for their bold strike against the church. My Rifleman and Scout are waiting for them, so this raid is now hotting up. Okay, so we have 2 fogs, scouted position. What's Rifleman A going to do? Rifleman A is going to take control of this objective, and then Rifleman B, well, this is, I think, a threatened objective, so I believe the Rifleman B what he will do. Rifleman B is over here. Yeah. a second, I think I made a mistake last time. Yeah, that scout should be there. I shouldn't have moved him. It was actually this rifleman B who was moving. Let's shift him, let's roll for it. 9, he would have moved to here. Sorry, a bit of a mistake there, but it's, yeah. So I got the scout shouldn't have moved, but the rifleman should have. The rifleman would have moved last turn, so he moved to this position, and now this turn he's going to take the objective. So you can see with 5 cards, the enemy is moving a lot faster than they would usually, which is a bit scary. So they could get this game if I'm not quick. So they've done 2 captures, so the Germans are now on 2 points, and then their mortar's going to do its work. So my view is that the only eligible target 3 away with a large population is my spawn point. So that's going to go there. So the mortar's like zoning in. They have to zone in first before they fire. And that is the Axis turn. So it wasn't too bad, but we need to make sure they don't take all the objectives. And finally, they look like they have something of a deck at this point. Yeah, deck, that's the word. Right. A long day. Right, drawing. So we've got Rifleman B in a Fog of War. And then we're just going to draw up two more cards. Okay, so we've got Fog of War, Scout A and Rifleman B. Ooh, it's a tough choice there. Now I think basically Rifleman A has to go now because we need to capture that objective before the opponent, the one at the church. So I'm going to bet on, I'm going to take a slight risk, I'm going to put Rifleman B forward for the initiative rather than the Scout and just hope the Germans get a lower value. So I've put in, for my initiative value, I've put B. These up. There we go. And for the Germans, we're going to reshuffle again. Thin decks. Bit thicker now though. Germans are waking up. The smell of cooking. The sauerkraut. Alright. Okay, so we've got the German deck. The Germans draw for initiative. Ah! Platoon Sergeant. So they've beaten me on initiative. So Platoon Sergeant, Scout, Mortar, Rifleman, Scout. Terrifying. So that is 5 cards to go for the Platoon Sergeant. So he's going to roll now. 4. So that is a bolster again. So we take 1 specialist. Another mortar. Wow. 3 mortars in play. Never had that before. Right. Then we need to roll to see what squad it is. The second, I believe an 8 is going to be squad B. And then roll again. 10. So that's a specialist. Squad leader A's come out now. So the sergeants are getting out of bed. Okay, excellent. So we've got the pitter patter of rain overhead on my skylight. It'll be fun for the sound editing later. Okay, so we've got Scout A's there, done. And then we've got Rifleman B. I've got another Scout A. Sorry, I haven't done that. This rain is distracting me. Okay, so the Scout A is now going to do his work. So we need to go to any unscouted objectives. So we've got 2 remaining. I'll just pick the location. So unscouted, enemy occupied is the greatest, enemy scouted is greater than closest to enemy rifleman. Okay, so I think he's going to go here. German scout has moved 2 spaces, man, when they move this fast, it's kind of terrifying. I think it makes more sense to have the bot this difficult, you know. I think it adds to the challenge of the game, to make up for the bot's sometimes slightly dumb decisions. Okay, so that's all of the objectives scouted for the Germans now, so they're going to have to act differently with their second action. So, select threatened objective. I believe threatened means that it has to be controlled by our side, so I'm just going to quickly check that. Threatened, the bot controls the tile, the bot has no combat counters on the tile, you have no unit with a control action on the tile, so that's not the case, so I think we're okay. Enemy on the same tile, no. Okay, so roll 1 to 7 conceal, 8 to 10 attack. So we're concealing, so they're just going to put a fog of war into my deck. Lovely, thank you Germans. So they're obviously sneaking up and trying to stop this radio being found on the hill. It's kind of cool. Rifleman B, what are you going to do? I think you're going to pick, select a threatened objective, no, select uncontrolled, not occupied by riflemen. Fewer enemies. Yep, so he's going to go to here. Yep, threatened, unscouted objective, enemy occupied. No, that's the scout, sorry. Select uncontrolled, not occupied by riflemen. Okay. I think he would move to here. There we are. Rifleman B, and then we're going to do the mortar. Okay, so this is the fun bit. The mortar is going to attack me on my home location. So we're rolling for the rifleman first, so they just get so right in the open there, so the rifleman's going to get hit on a 4. 2, miss on the rifleman, I was very lucky there, and I need a 5 for the scout. Miss, well I got very lucky, that could have been a slaughter. Obviously those mortar shells were duds. Okay, right, that's turn done for the Germans, so it's going to be back to me. I think I got off lightly there, to be honest. Right, we're going to use Scout and Fog of War, so we're going to get rid of the Fog of War and draw up a new card. Okay, way, I think this is actually going better than I thought. So, Rifleman A, now, Scout B might be in this location, but with the current rules for this one, as long as it's not controlled by the enemy, I can flip it. So, I have now flipped the church to my control. And what I'm hoping to do now is go back to the radio and just start taking control of that and stopping the opponent doing any more. Okay, so we've got one more action, which is a squad leader. So I think what I'm going to do is bolster Rifleman A now. So he's going to have two more cards going to keep him alive. And that is my turn. Alright, that went better than I expected. Let's see if the Germans can pull this together. Okay, Fog of War, machine gun, scout. Okay, right. I think we're going to have to use the machine gun and just hope they're going to pull a Fog of War. So machine gun's going as my initiative card. The Germans are going to use, yes, we got it. I'm getting to predict this AI pretty well. Fog of War for the Germans, which means I get control again, flipping back to the Americans, and I do my turn. So I've got another Fog of War to get rid of. I'm going to use my scout to get rid of it. So we're really getting through them now. I'm hoping we're going to have a nice clear deck, and then I can get rid of the scouts by hunkering them down, which gets them out of your hand and then back into the supply, thinning out the deck. Okay, we've got the platoon sergeant. Do we bolster or command? I think so. We've used Scout B. We're going to command. That means we draw two more cards. fog of war, and a scout. What a good combination. So platoon sergeant's done his thing. We're going to use the new scout I've drawn up to get rid of the fog of war, and draw a new card. This is what you call a power turn. Squad leader B. Squad leader B is going to bolster rifleman B. All about the rifleman right now. And then he's done his thing, and then machine gunner A is going to pitch up the hill. So we'll bring on the machine gunner, and terrified by the mortar rounds coming in, he's going to move up the hill. It's not the best position in the world, but at least it's not going to get mortared. So gunner A is going to move on. So it's going to be, let's get right gunner. Gunner A comes on the board, spawns in, and then the first action is to move up the hill, get a base of fire down below. Okay, let's see what the Germans do in response. We've got fog of war, mortar, rifleman A. Okay, could be worse. Rifleman A. What are you up to? Rifleman B. Okay, Rifleman A, what are you up to, my old chum? Unscouted objective first. Plonk. Rifleman B is going to take control of this objective. Plonk. 3, so the score now is 3 for the Germans and 2 for me, but I'm really hoping to take 6B here and start doing some work there. Okay, so I've got another incoming mortar fire here, so we've got, if I survive this, it'll be a miracle. Rifleman B, so it's going to be 4 to hit. Okay, well I didn't make it this time, so Rifleman B's been struck. So I go into my discard pile and I remove Rifleman B from the game. Okay, done. Second shot against the scout, it's a 2, so misses. Okay, got off relatively lightly there. I'm glad I bolstered B. Okay, we're drawing up another round now. Let's discard these German cards. Right. Fog, rifleman, machine gunner, scouts. Okay, what's we gonna do? Oh, we need to keep the initiative somehow, but I need to get rid of Fogs of War. Do we risk it with the rifleman? This might lose me the game, but I think it might be worth it. So, I'm going to use rifleman as my initiative card. And then for the Germans, they have a scout. Okay, so they win the initiative. Frustrating. So they've got the initiative, and then I need to draw 4 cards for them. Four German cards coming up. Let's see what the cheeky fellas do. Scout, rifleman, mortar, 2 Fogs of War. Okay, Scout is going to get rid of the Fog of War. Fog of War's out of the game. We draw a new card for the Germans. That comes in next turn. Okay, and then Rifleman B. They are going to go for an unscouted, uncontrolled objective. Okay, control is already controlled. Tile is secure. Yes. Select threatened objective. I don't think that one's threatened. Select uncontrolled. Not occupied by riflemen. Value. Fewer enemies. Lower cover. Random. I think we've established that uncontrolled is by my perspective as the bot. So we move to here. There we go. Mortar, another round against Rifleman B. It's a miss. I don't know, the Germans are doing really badly with their mortar. I should have lost about 4 casualties by now. Another miss. Oh my god, I'm doing so well with just dodging those mortar rounds. Okay. Well, once again, a relatively ineffective German turn. I just feel they need a bit more momentum. Okay, right. Allied turn. It's going to scout out or recon out another fog of war, and then we're going to draw a card. Okay, we've got a platoon sergeant, so we're going to command with a platoon sergeant, which is drawing me 2 more cards. Okay, so we used a scout B for that. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to, with this new scout B, we're going to hunker him down. So we're taking him out. He's gone. We're actually putting him back into the supply to thin out the deck. And then machine gunner A is going to deal with that rifleman down below. So I'm going to fire at the rifleman on position 5B. So I'm going to fire 2 dice. I'm not going to suppress. I'm going to try and actually kill. Just realised Germans won that initiative, so this needs to flip over. So I am going to try and shoot at the rifleman, so he's going to be 6. Is that enough? Do I want to suppress? I'm going to try and suppress the rifleman. Need a 6. Made it. Rifleman is suppressed. Rifleman B is going to move off this mortar position up the hill. Got to take this objective. And then platoon sergeant's already done. Okay, reasonable. Let's draw up. Got another turn ahead. Squad leader B, machine gunner, rifleman, fog of war. I think we need to use the squad leader. We could do a double objective pump if we used initiative. Oh, choices. Let's go for fog of war as initiative, because at least then, even if the Germans go first, we get to use all our cards. So Germans are going to use a mortar. I've never been beaten by a mortar in initiative, but everything's a first. Okay, right. Mortar goes on. Mortar, rifleman, mortar, fog of war. What have we got here? Another fog of war. So that's not so good for the Germans, but they do have ability to drop in a fair few shells. Okay, here we go. So we are going to do rifleman A, Max first. Rifleman A unpins. Rifleman B, he is on a friendly position, controlled position, so he will attack the highest priority target, which is going to be the rifleman here. So Rifleman B takes his rifle and takes a shot at the American in the church. So that's going to be, I don't know what the cover is, it's going to be 5. 4, 5, so I'm hit. Rifleman A, do I have a Rifleman A in my hand? No, so a nick in my discard. So Rifleman A, we've lost Paul Miller. He's been shot in the face. Okay, this is the risk now. They're bringing in shots. Rifleman A, Rifleman B. Did I do that the wrong way around? Rifleman A should have done something. Oops. Rifleman A would have taken this position. Sorry, that's my bad. Oh no, he unpinned, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, he unpinned. So we can ignore that. Right, mortar. Mortar, so normally it would change its target, but because of the scout, it reduces the population down to 1, because it's like my population minus 1 for the enemy population. So actually there's no great increase. So he's going to keep plugging at the scouts. He hits, so scout B is hit. Let's see if I have anything in my hand. I don't. Scout B, so we've lost another scout B. That might be the last scout B. Scout B is dead. So I think I've got the token stays on the table, but I don't think I actually have any more cards. It's not the biggest loss. And then I've got another mortar round coming in on scout B. 6, I think that's going to be enough. So we'll see if there's a scout B remaining. First casualty, scout B has been removed from the board from sustained mortar fire. Our home location is not safe. Okay, well done to the Germans. Okay, my go. Machine gunner A is going to take a plunk at I'm going to actually risk it. I'm going to take a normal shot at the rifleman, so it's going to be 5, 6 to hit. Ooh, got it. 6. So the rifleman A, these are all discarded, takes a hit, and I remove a rifleman A card. German rifleman A is gone. So one thing I learned, this is a bit of a change from the normal game, is that you actually, to destroy a bot unit, you have to kill all of their deck, their discard pile, and their bolster deck, which I did not know. So that makes them actually significantly stronger than the non-bot version. Okay, so machine gunner's done his thing. Squad rifleman B is now going to take control of this objective. Okay, so we're now on 3 points, and as an initiative at Inspire, we're going to bolster again, and this is going to push this objective here, the objective for the Allies on the radio tower, up to 2. So now we're looking at 4 points. So we're looking at a score 3-4. There's a chance we've got this if we're not too slow. Okay, drawing up. Rifleman A. Rifleman A. Squad leader A. Oh, this is looking positive. Scout A. Okay. Scout A. I think we go for Scout A. See if we can beat the Germans to it. Scout A is going as our initiative card. What's the German got? Ah, platoon sergeant. So they beat us on the initiative again. So really, it depends what they do to Rifleman A, because I've got 3 Rifleman A cards in my hand. If they shoot them down, there's a good chance that I won't be able to deal with what's coming. So squad, platoon sergeant, 2 scouts, Rifleman B, squad leader A. Okay, what's going to happen right now? This is pretty decisive, I think. If they don't get me now, I win. So rolling for the platoon sergeant. 0. I think 0 is a command. It's probably exactly what they wanted. So German command, yeah, so they draw 2 more cards. Ooh, this is terrifying. So we're going to have a potentially 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to have 7 Germans operating. Let's see how this goes. Okay, right, ready for it to get messy? Okay. Squad leader A, it's going to inspire these 2 scouts. So the scouts now have 2 actions each. Oh my word. Right, reconning out Fog of War. First action for the scouts. I'm drawing a new card from the German side. So there's another German card for next turn. And Scout A, second action. What are you up to, young man? Let's have a look. Scout A, what are you up to, fella? Okay. What are you doing, Scout? Fog of War, we've done that. Tile is secure. Yes. Select threatened objective as destination. Value cover. Select an unscouted objective as destination. That's all done. Don't think there is any threatened objectives at the moment. Closest to the unscouted. Anyone on the same tile, attack. So I'm just going to work out, is there, what does threatened mean? In fact, it's not going to matter. We'll just check what secure means. I keep having to check this one. Secure. The bot does not control the tile. Okay, so that's already secure. Okay, we're just going to enemy on the same tile attack. So he's going to go for the Rifleman B, I suspect. I'm just going to quickly check that in the priority. He might go for the machine gunner, but I don't think he should. Rifleman on objective the bot controls, and then has no bot units. Rifleman on an objective. Okay, so Rifleman on an objective is the priority target. So that means that the scouts will take a shot at Rifleman B. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So we've got 5 defense for the Rifleman B. Hit. Rifleman B has been struck. So go into my discard. Rifleman B has been hit. Okay. We've got a lot more of this to go. So Scouts A does it again, so another shot. At 8, another Rifleman B. This is looking dangerous. Rifleman B, so 2 casualties in that squad. We've got a 3rd shot coming in from the Scout. I missed this time. Okay, Rifleman B is going to take a shot at Rifleman A, so he's going to need a 5 hit, so I lose a Rifleman A from my hand. And then the mortar. Now, this is going to be interesting. What is the mortar? The mortar might just end up targeting that location. Target has a population of greater than 1. No. Tile has a population of 3. The tile with the highest population is 3 or more tiles away. So so the highest population is still the hill. So the Germans are going to risk some friendly fire and they are going to target the hill. Okay. Let's see what happens now. I don't think I can win the game this turn because I think they've blocked me doing it. I'm not certain, but let's see. Okay, I've got 2 cards. Rifleman A goes up the hill. First action. Rifleman B, Rifleman A, squad leader inspire, increase the value. Okay. Nice. I think I've done it. Bolstered up. So I could run up the hill, gone to the radio tower and send out the final signal. I've boosted my objectives to 3. So 3, 4, 5. So I've won. I think the bot was a little unlucky there. If they were quick enough, they would have got up that hill and captured at least one of those locations first. I think that's why I tried to sprint to get them. I think if they got a few more shots on Rifleman A, that would have been a no-go turn for me. So not a bad showing for me. I have to admit, like, my strategy in this game tends to be to run in with to scout out, recon out as much fog of war as possible, and then you know what? I don't really focus on killing. I go straight for the objectives with the Rifleman, thinning my deck. And you know what? Maybe it is a bit of a rush, sort of, you know, Zerg rush situation, but it does work. Not on every scenario though, but I think on these ones really emphasise quick action, and I think this is where the bot can come a bit unstuck, because if I was the player, I would have gone straight for 6B in the tower, and I would have made sure that 1B in the church, they just couldn't get near it. So the fact that the bot kind of sweeps around, now I think one way that's mitigating that now is by making it more difficult, and I think the hard mode is the way to go. So I think I'll be playing all scenarios now on hard. But at least it wasn't the longest play session in the world, so you can get too bored with it. But yeah, continuing to enjoy this one. Some limits of the bot are coming up. I think initially I was kind of wowed by it, but now I'm beginning to see, okay, here are the limitations. But it is pretty good still, and I think with the right order there, for example, if we hadn't focused on mortars, I think they would have been able to get those riflemen to capture early, and they would have won. So yeah, another good game, and we're just trying now with a higher up camera setup. Still some questions about lighting, sound, etc. So bear with me, but we'll get more content soon. We're almost through all Undaunted Normandy missions, apart from the reinforcements book, which brings in tanks. So excited to get to those. But anyway, thanks for listening, and like and subscribe.